after an exciting game last night. We're going to try to run it back and do it again. Welcome, everyone, inside Mun Ice Arena for game number 2 in the second annual Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational. Tyler Kuhl alongside my color commentator this weekend, Ryan Radosevich, after a game last night that saw Team Verbero pull out an 8-7 victory, Ryan. It was one of the craziest games I've called this entire year, and we're in the postseason now. It was certainly a great way to kick off the weekend.
It was absolutely a crazy game 1. Team Elite Prospects took a 5-0 lead in the game. Kind of looked like they were going to run away with it early in the second period, but Verbero battled back. They got some goals, made it 6-3. They battled back in the third, tied up at 6, goes to 7-6, and with 16 seconds left, Hudson Ewan ties it up, forces overtime, and then Matthew Ferdinand with the OT winner, 8-7. 15 goals scored, and gosh, I could barely even keep track of it all.
And we had some good goaltending as well, so certainly that makes things very interesting as we get set up for game number 2 here. You think now that the two teams have played against each other, we saw a lot of high scoring in last year's Invitational over in Colorado Springs, but you think we'll see a little bit more defense today, or think the offense will continue to keep going?
I think there is going to be an offensive showcase, but the defense is going to get a lot better. We did see a lot of sloppy turnovers, some miscommunication between some D pairs. I think that's going to be sharpened and a lot better in this game, and we're going to see a little less goals, but I still expect it to be high scoring, probably around 5-6 goals per each team.
We're going to talk about some of the more of the kids that we saw yesterday put up big points again today. We'll talk about some players to watch and maybe look into depth of maybe the couple names we did not talk about a whole lot last night when we get back here on WSBN TV's coverage of the EP Pre-Draft Invitational.
Jungle.
And welcome back, folks, inside Mun Ice Arena here as we get set for our Saturday night clash between Team Elite Prospects and Team Verbero. Tyler Kuhl alongside Ryan Radosevich. After a great game last night, Ryan, we mentioned the 8-7 wild 1985-esque game we had here last night. I'm sure even some fans in East Lansing would like to come and, I guess your Spartans scored a few goals this year, so I'll give you that. But who are some players that really caught your eye in last night's game that really produced?
Well, I'll go with the team that won the game, and I'll go with number 7, James Liu. He was flying all over the ice, the native of Richland, Washington, playing for the Colorado Rampage. He was showing off his speed. He was flying, like I said, and he describes his game as he's got high hockey IQ, he's a playmaker, and he's good at protecting the puck with his body. He showed that all yesterday, and and it was very impressive. He didn't put up a point, but he definitely made his presence known on the ice.
For Elite Prospects, one guy that we didn't say a whole lot last night, but we know a little bit more about today, that's Joey Calder, the Saugus, Massachusetts kid, a guy that's always moving, great awareness on both ends of the rink. Well, we got a chance to talk with his dad a little bit before we went live here this afternoon, and he told us a great story about how, his older brother, who's 19 years old, is getting into personal training and whatnot, and they got synthetic ice in their basement. Kid's always working. He cooks his own food, does Joey Calder, which, let's be honest, for some 16-year-old kids, Ryan, that's a big step for them.
At 16, the only thing I made was popcorn and maybe some mac and cheese if I wanted to.
I tell you what, that was something that was really cool to learn. Also, the fact that his 13-year-old younger brother, Joey Calder, apparently is a behemoth. And apparently, according to the dad, 145 pounds. He showed us pictures of him. This kid looks way stronger than both Ryan and I combined. Obviously comes from a hard-working background. The former GBL, the Little Bruin, played both for the 18 and under and 16 under teams last year. I'm excited to see what he can do today in Game 2, the St. Mary's product as well. Who is someone, though, right? There was a guy that we talked about a lot last night, scored a few points as well. He's a defenseman, didn't get on the goal-scoring side, but was a big helper in the comeback for Verbero.
Oh, a huge help in the comeback for Verbero. We're talking about number 5, John Crawford, the native of Greenwood Village, Colorado. He got 3 primary assists yesterday. 2 of them came off his point shots. His teammates were able to bury the rebounds. But not only was he able to produce offensively, in the last minute and 30 seconds, he, with his own net empty, he was able to keep it in the blue line multiple times. If he lost that puck, it would have been going the other way for Team Elite Prospects and probably would have resulted in the end of the game. Because he stood at the blue line, Verbero was able to tie it up late, force overtime, and get the dub.
Obviously, we mentioned that one of the guys we actually talked to earlier today that we'll have one of our interviews later on in the broadcast. We got to talk to quite a few guys from Elite Prospects. Sam Smith, not Sammy Smith, Sam Smith. He kindly corrected us on that when we talked to him. He's one of the couple of Windy Storm products we have on the EP team here. We'll certainly see what he can do today in game number 2. The team switch ends here for this game number 2. As we look at the MSU scoreboard, we have Team EP versus Team Verbuzzin.
Oh.
That's what we're... The unofficial name change from Ed Palumbo. He sent that up to us. That's a very little fun touch because they were, yes, Verbuzzin in that second period in last night's game. Ryan, you want to toss it on and tell us who our starting goaltenders are for this one?
It's going to be number 30 for Verbero, the man who stepped in halfway through and had a monstrosity of a game in a good way. 21 out of 23 saves. He basically carried his team back into them and gave them the opportunity to build back in and eventually go on to win the game. And on the other side, it's a pair of 30s. It's Alec Dawes for the Elite Prospects out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He put up 19 saves on 25 shots. It was definitely a tough night for him yesterday, but he made some big saves, saving 19 out of 25.
We'll see how he does here down to our right as Elite Prospects in the white going right to left. Getting things underway here back on the offensive. Elite Prospects went up 4-0 at the end of the first period last night. Ethan Chen was on the bench for the moment, scored 2 goals in that opening period, ended up with 3 points. Him and Braden Wade were very exceptional all game long as Trent White comes across the line, tries a backhand it gets kicked away. Coming on the back check that time was Jaden Shirk. Cut off right in front of the Verbero bench. Verbero now on the near side as they were on the far bench here at Mount Ice Arena yesterday. Nice couple of moves as Sam Smith tries to get on the score sheet right away, but Goodridge makes a good early save.
A quick action here in this one, and Elite Prospects picking off where they left off in the first period of yesterday. They scored 4 goals in the first period, only let Verbero shoot 5 times in that first frame, and they've got the offense going early in this one. We'll see if it converts to an early goal.
Face-off to his left. The face-off is won. Iojak will help it move over for Kevin Perreault. Long wrister. Good save made. Rebound skips up high in the air over Goodridge. CO then knocks his man down, but quickly jumping back up to his feet. Good job there by Brody Merrick. He had a couple of assists in the losing effort yesterday for Elite Prospects. Nice play by Brody Peterson to move it along. Good job, though, by Ojak, the winger, to come back on defense, but then he gives it away. Here's a chance for Hudson Ewan, and he could not put that one towards the goal. Ewan, he was a big part of that comeback last night. Ryan, we mentioned him a little bit. Scored 2 goals in that game, including that one in the dying seconds of regulation.
Yeah, he got the game-tying goal with 16 seconds remaining. Just a dirty in-front goal, but to tie the game, send it to overtime. You'll take any goal, and that's what he was able to provide.
James Liu intercepts that pass. He's trying to work away from Chen, and he does. He's in, and a good save made by Dawes, as falling down while getting the shot away was Liu. Another try, that one blockered away by Dawes.
And although James Liu got past Ethan Chen there, Chen with a last-second stick check, able to disrupt the shot of Liu.
Liu, who did not get on the score sheet last night, had a couple of great looks in the game, but he is getting active here early. As the puck is played now by Perot, turned it on over. Good hustle there on the forecheck by Nolan Beauchesne, who had a couple of glorious looks in that opening period last night. Chen looking across, could not find the streaking Emmett Porter, who also earned a helper for Team EP last night. Evan Williams, the Boca Raton, Florida kid, plays it on forward here. Now unable to get through cleanly was Gavin Parks. Parks, who scored one of the 2 goals in the second period for Elite Prospects last night. Here is the birthday boy, Spagnuolo, putting that one wide of the goal. Zach Spagnuolo, the Dallas Stars Elite product, turning 16 years old today. Not sure if he drove to the rink, though. Here's Evan Williams now on the far side, as we're just a couple minutes gone in this opening period of game number 2 of this pre-draft invitational, the second one ever put on by Elite Prospects. Big hit thrown, and stepping into his man was Parker Cha. He's able to knock down the hero from last night. That was Ferdinand. Played on forward. Parks couldn't quite handle it. Collected here by Izzy Parson. Parson, who didn't have to say his name a whole lot in the first 2 periods of the game last night, Ryan, but in that third period he was very noticeable, including being on the ice for that game-tying goal.
Yeah, he was all over the ice, offensive, defensively, showed off his skills too, and with a frame of 6'2", 174, it's not hard to notice him at all on the ice.
Up the near side, nice little touch along here by Chen. Parks now gives it. Porter trying to make his way through, but a great job by Cullen McCrate. McCrate, who won the fastest skater competition earlier today, Ryan.
Yeah, clocked in a time of 4.55 going from his own goal line to the opposite blue line, which is pretty impressive for this age.
Spagnuolo looking to the near side and putting it off the side of the goal with Shirk as the pegs are dislodged. Good little look here as see the end board's a little bit springy here at Mount Ice Arena. Not as quite as rubber bandy as the old JLA over in Detroit, but almost caused a great chance there for Shirk.
And Alec Dawes standing in that net. He had a rough time coming into the game 1 yesterday. Let in a bunch of goals early, but he finally got settled in. Now he's starting tonight, so we'll see how that works for his game.
Correction, that was Brendan Sturbu. My apologies. Philip Kaczynski can't hold that one in. Good play made to knock it down in by Bradley Backen. Right on goal, and it'll be held by Goodridge. So far, just 5 shots on goal in the opening 3 minutes and change in this one. 3-4 team Verbero, or as the scoreboard says, Verbuzzin. That became the thing after they buzzed their way to victory last night.
After a scoreless first period, they answered back with 6 goals in that second frame. It was crazy.
Face-off win, back in with a shot, and that one goes off the catching glove as Goodridge had to reach out. Mentioned Goodridge, 5'10", not the biggest goaltender, but then again, Ryan, we did talk about a little bit amongst ourselves, the goaltender he idolized and tries to emulate his game after, not the biggest in his own right.
Yeah, he's talking about UC Saros for the Nashville Predators. Saros standing about 5'11", but doesn't seem like he's that short. He's a great goaltender in the NHL.
Very athletic, and certainly the way the Predators have rallied back to get back into a playoff spot there in that Western Conference. Another Vezina caliber season for the netminder that took the place out of the guy that, well, they built a statue for in Smashville at Pecorine.
Yeah, I'm not too sure statue-worthy status for Pecorine. He's still an amazing goalie nonetheless, but to build a statue, I feel like maybe you need to do a little more, but I digress.
You're not invited to next week's goaltender union meeting now after that comment. Here's Kaczynski coming on in here for Verbero. He takes a tumble as it's poked back behind the goal. Trying to center in front is Shirk. Unable to get a handle on that was Brady Whitkin, as now Elite Prospects will come back the other way. Nice play by Samseth to poke it on ahead. Tries to dip the shoulder around side. Gabriel Clark couldn't do so, but here's Mikulski coming on in from the point. Gary Mikulski centers it just outside the reach of a couple of his teammates. As the puck gets played out to center, it will be collected here by Team Elite Prospects. Cullen Tully, one of the 7 Californians we have on the ice here today. Turned over. Nice play by Hudson Ewan to take that one away. Ewan now trying to get out of harm's way. Left along, Kaczynski, that is number 8. Thomas Putnam, who had 2 goals last night. Couldn't put that one on the cage. Now Mikulski will try to wind up from behind his own goal. Mikulski, one of the many golfers we have here talk to him. You'll see his interview at some point this weekend in our intermission breaks. Line changes here for Elite Prospects. Almost kind of costed him. Now let's say allows Verbero to dump it on in.
And you talked about golf. For most of these kids, hockey's obviously their number one, and we tried to find out what other hobbies got other than hockey. We tried to preface the don't say golf, and they still said golf either way. Hockey and golf go hand in hand.
Today was a pretty nice day in terms of spring golf weather. It was at 55 degrees here in East Lansing and sunshine. So something that is a little bit of a rarity in the Mitten State around this time of year.
I'm liking it. I wish it stays, and next week should be nice too, but most of these kids will be out of here by that time.
Exactly. Here's now a chance the other way. Verbero, it's Nolan Beauchesne looking in front, looking for Lou coming on in, but a good job by Perot to tie him up just a little bit. Touched on forward here by Wade as this line that was very active for Elite Prospects, working it into the Verbero zone. But it's collected on back now, is looking to wind up here. John Crawford. Big part of that comeback last night with 3 assists for the Greenwood Village, Colorado native. Beauchesne now will touch it along. Nice little move there by Parson to get it up for Lou, but it's a little bit behind him. That'll allow Perot to shoot it back on goal, where Goodrich has sticked it off to the side. 7 minutes gone here in this first period. Still scoreless is now Crawford trying to make his way by Williams. Great job by Evan Williams to knock that rush away. That's something we saw a lot from him yesterday, Ryan. Very physical is the man from Florida, as we see a big bump thrown there on Spagnuolo.
Yeah, he likes to play the body, and he plays it well, gets the puck away from his opponent, and puts it up ice quickly.
Now spinning in the neutral zone here is Sturbu. He scored the very first goal of the game last night for Verbero. Long stretch feed here finds Ferdinand. He sees Spagnuolo, couldn't get it to him as Williams knocked that one away. Following up, trying to get it to the front. Unable to is Katsian. And now here's Sturbu giving it back up. Colin McCrate, the Little Caesars product, looking for a deflection back door. Putting it towards the cage, but just wide was Ferdinand as Dawes accidentally knocked the net off as he slid back to his post.
A great play there. Cullen Tully feeding Ferdinand on the back post, trying to tap it in past the goaltender, Alec Dawes there, but Alec Dawes actually pushing the net off twice. Make sure these pegs are strong. It seems like they're giving up pretty easily here, but a great chance there. Probably the best chance of the game for both teams. But something else I want to highlight, the defensive game has looked a lot stronger both teams. The gap controls look better. Defenders aren't losing their assignments. It seems like the coaching has done wonders over the day.
Faceoff was won by Elite Prospects, but Verbero scores! The point shot coming in from Katsian somehow made its way by Dawes, and Verbero scores first here tonight.
And that one was a little bit of a fluky goal there. I'm not sure. Dawes seemed to be posted up ready for the shot, but it may have taken a tip off his own teammate, Ryan Giordano, in front of the net. He kind of looked at him, questioned, shrugged a bit. But either way, Team Verbero, team that took 6 goals to score, or team that didn't score till they were down 5-0. They get the lead here today.
Sturbu and Spagnuolo the assist, so the birthday boy gets his name on the score sheet for the second time this weekend. Had an assist in yesterday's win. Here's now Cullen McCrate, who is very excited for his defense partner to get credited with the goal. Always good to see it. We something we did. We talked with a couple of the players from Elite Prospects earlier today, Ryan. These kids really starting to gel really quickly. Obviously, you're spending pretty much 2 whole days, 3 whole days with them. You kind of get to know them pretty well, exchange Instagram handles as we talked about, and they're starting to really come together as units on both sides.
Yeah, the camaraderie has definitely built here as they streak down the ice.
Back in with a shot, goes up off the stick of Evan Seo and out of play. Seo, the Brooklyn native, had a little bit of a giveaway that almost costed Verbero last night. It was the go-ahead goal for Team EP. That was the goal from Max McGuire, who's stepping on the ice now. But he was able to have his teammates help make up for it. Brooklyn native played, like I said, for the Connecticut Junior Rangers. Also played for the 16 and under AAA team. 6 games for them this year to the 15-year-old. Face-off one on back. Good job that time by Brady Whitkin. Now trying to work up the wall was Kaczynski, but he had a stick lifted by Sam Smith. Him and his teammate Kevin Perot both playing on the Windy City Storm. AAA ranks as this one's thrown out to center. That is collected here by Trent White, the Oklahoma native. He pushed it up the boards where it's taken back by Seo. Now some room here for Gabriel Clark. Played in the Steel Icebreaker tournament this year with the Chicago Fury, 15 and under team. Almost turned over. Look out by Wise. Witkin just couldn't get a handle on that. Maybe a little stick tap from Jimmy Sutherland helps that as Sutherland leads a 3-on-2 the other way. Smith has it. Smith shoots and he scores. Sam Smith sneaks it short side and we're tied at 1.
And a great play there by Jimmy Sutherland, showing off the stick handling and the speed, streaking down the ice, making sure he picks his head up and he finds Sam Smith on his right wing, who flicks a wicked wrister past the glove of goaltender Mason Goodrich.
Great start for both teams. Shots on goal now 5-4. Time of that goal 9-12 for Sam Smith. He gets his name on the score sheet, which, you know, we may or may not have talked into existence during his interview today. Sam Smith, good kid and obviously very skilled as well. Coming out of Homer Glen, Illinois, played for the Chicago Junior Hawks in the 2017 Brick Invitational. Backhander put on by Hudson Ewan was patted away by Dawes as Verbero quickly trying to come back and take the lead for the second time. Some now room for Merrick up the right wing side, along with his Alaskan brethren, Iojak. Iojak a little bit behind him, so he'll have to retreat as it's collected here by Izzy Parsa. Parsa out of San Francisco, California, has some issues with it as elite prospects. Going hard on the forecheck. Merrick can't get that one free. Poked on ahead by John Lumsden, the Peterborough Pete AAA product. On the near side, moved on out to center. Nice little play by Putnam, and now it's Ewan on a 3-on-1 here for Verbero. Ewan shot save, a juicy rebound. Unable to get the handle on it was Putnam, as looked like Ryan that maybe Braden Wade helped out there.
Yeah, it looked like Braden Wade just staying in the right position at the right time. When you're the lone defender on a 3-on-1, all you want to do is make sure you cut off the pass to the far side, and that's exactly what he did. Made the shooter stare down Dawes, and Dawes made the save.
Dawes a couple of nice stops so far in this first period. Here's Kevin Perreault trying to center it. Fans on it, but he keeps on. Centers it, had Parks on the doorstep, but maybe Parks was a little surprised it got to him, but now here comes Lou and Verbero the other way. Line change for the team in black, so it'll be Lou just chipping it on in. It was offside, so he had to backtrack. A little bit of a different scenario for these kids, Ryan, that we talked about yesterday. Touch-up offsides, and here we say normal NHLS college rules. You can clear the puck on a penalty kill, though we only had one yesterday. Here's Cullen McCray chicken down the left side. A soft backhander goes wide of the goal. Lou quickly on it here. Lou, nice little spin move, trying to get in front. It went off the skate of Gresko, who gives chase. Up to the point now. Crawford shot just wide of the goal, and maybe getting a piece of that was the goaltender Dawes. It's one of the strengths of Crawford, getting shots through from the point, which we certainly saw in spades in last night's game. Now some room here. Emmett Porter, one-on-one on that side, and a good firm check thrown by Crawford, cutting off that rush.
Crawford's been very impressive all weekend.
Battle along the near side. Poked down behind the goal. The aforementioned Crawford is now Porter will give chase, but now a nice little touch pass will spring Verbero the other way with Gresko giving it on off. Here's Beauchene. Beauchene cuts to the goal. He's leveled. He got it on goal, and a good save by Dawes. Great rush by Beauchene, but a good save and good defensive effort as well coming from the Brooklyn Arrow native.
And great play there by Beauchene, noticing that the rest of his team was going off on a line change there, driving the net and getting a grade A opportunity. Good save with the glove there by Dawes.
Shots on goal now 7-5 in favor of Verbero with 8:11 to go here in period number 1. Play down behind the goal. Ferdinand, the New Brunswick native, turned it over back. Is nice, good read by the defenseman that time, Ryan Giordano. Puck is played back deeper into Elite Prospects territory. Pinching on and deep there is Cutsian, the goal scorer for Verbero. He gets caught down low, but good job on the awareness by Sturbu to come back and help out his defenseman. Covering there as he's in the corner now with Bradley Backen. He takes him down, and now it'll be played on ahead. Spagnola looking to maybe lead a 3-on-2 rush for Verbero if they hurry. He's got a man back towards Ferdinand, but a great read by Trent White to knock that pass away. Spagnola on again, turn, shoot, and a high riser. Maybe he got the tip of the glove of Dawes, but it went over top of the goal. Up to the point, another try. Spagnola on the blue line, kicked away at the last second by Dawes. Not sure if he saw that one, but he flashed out the right pillow just in time. Great shift here by this alleged top line here for Verbero. At the point, another shot by Cutsian went wide of the goal. CO kept it on in, but now some room here. Joey Calder will bring it to the neutral zone. He'll chip it in and go for a line change after a long shift for him and his group.
Yeah, Verbero was in the offensive zone for a long time there. They had a great slew of progression there, trying to keep it in, and they definitely made the Elite Prospects players tired. Clearing it down the ice, they go off and change.
Max McGuire blew a tire in the corner, now pulls it out of there, trying to get it to the front. Maybe looking for Jimmy Sutherland, who's on the doorstep, and throws a firm check for Spagnuolo. And something we'll see in that interview today, McGuire, who has it here, takes a shot. Good knock save made by Goodrich.
Barely got a piece of it.
McGuire likes to play the physical game. He idolizes game after someone who's physical and skilled, Matthew Tkachuk. You might have heard of him.
I think I've heard of that guy a time or two.
Unfortunately, I think everyone in the Atlantic Division's heard of him, unfortunately, and everyone in the Edmonton Oilers as well.
Heard, seen, and probably got pushed by at some point.
Puck is thrown all the way into the Elite Prospects bench, so we'll have the faceoff stay inside the Verbero zone with 6:13 to go in a first period that sees EP and Verbuzzin tied at 1.
This is a much more even game than the first period of last night's affair. Shots pretty much even, only one shot one shot difference for Verbero, 8-7 so far. They lead.
Haven't had to say Goodrich's name in a fancy way too many times. We saw, of course, made him a couple of very flashy saves, especially in the overtime period as well. But obviously, like we said, kind of shows maybe a little bit more of a defensive structure here as Iojak tries to knife his way through. He's cut off, still has it. Taken there by Mikulski. Nice feed across. Slap shot. Good save made by Goodrich as letting that one go was Cullen Tully. Tully, one of the many Fairmont Prep products. 17 points in 19 games on the AAA schedule for Fairmont this year. Not too shabby for a defenseman, Ryan.
Yeah, and 4 of the Fairmont Prep rostered players making the trip all the way from Anaheim, California to East Lansing, Michigan on this Easter weekend to show off their skills, what they got, and to improve their game.
And we're going to have a power play here.
Ooh.
As Jaden Shirk will go off 2 minutes for cross-checking. So this will be the first power play of the weekend for Elite Prospects. Verbero had one last night, was unsuccessful in the third period. So there we say an early power play. We'll get to see the first look of the team in white's chances with the man advantage here.
And you think with 15 goals last night, at least one of them came on the power play. No, only one penalty called, no power play goals.
Just shows how good these kids are at even strength as Verbero wins the faceoff and they float it down the ice by way of Parsa. Parsa, we mentioned, out of San Francisco, though he did play in the Steel Icebreaker this year with the Milwaukee Junior Admirals along with Sean Gresco. Here is Parks now setting things up. Parker Shaw quickly on across, some room here for Chen. Chen looking in front, maybe looking for that bumper position for Parks, but it just went by him. Good awareness that time coming from Chen, the New Jersey kid who has it again. Couldn't get that one through, might have hit a stick. Perot at the point, kind of got tangled up there for a moment with Porter. That allows Parsa to get the puck back and just knock it out to center.
And you mentioned Ethan Chen, somebody to keep your eye on as he enters the zone. 2 goals, 1 assist yesterday.
Little wasted movement is what I always wrote down from his scouting report. You can see why here. Perot now off to his left. Nice little feed in front. It's Chen, but it just bobbled on him at the last second, and a great play made by Putnam to knock it away. Walking on from the point, Porter, give and go, trying to set that one up with Parks, but once again, great coverage down low by Putnam and company to not allow them to get that scoring chance. Oh, look out. Maybe a Michigan attempted by Porter, but it fell off his stick. Second attempt we've seen this weekend. Spagnuolo tried it yesterday, both to no avail. 37 seconds to go on this power play for Elite Prospects. Still tied at 1. Perot for Chen. And looking for traffic in front. Goes back door looking for Porter, but once again, it seemed like too far on the front foot for him to pull off the one-timer. Chen now goes back door again. Deflected on goal and just put wide by Parks. Looked like it may have hit the stick there of Gabriel Clark, putting it on his own goaltender.
That was close.
Now here's a chance here for Chop Top. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Perot with a high riser. Tried to go short side and missed, and that'll allow the puck to cream all the way back down into the EP zone. 0 for 1 now as Elite Prospects on the man advantage.
I've been very impressed by number 30 for Verbero, Mason Goodrich in net. He's had a very strong glove, very strong blocker, able to fight that one off. I'm not sure if it would have found the corner, but he rose that blocker up in a split second and got a piece of it.
Now it's Riley Mabutash trying to create something for Elite Prospects, but he was cut off. Good job by Gresco behind the goal as Cullen McCrate will just flip it on into the EP zone. A little over 3 minutes to go here in this first period. Not as much scoring as we saw yesterday in the opening frame, but certainly some good chances on both sides. 1-1 our score as Verbero will come out here with James Liu. Touches it along. Gresko leaves it for Boucher, and they come across the line. Trying to get it on goal. Deflected. Good save and a rebound. That one stopped as well as Lumsden came in late. Not sure Dawes even realized the rebound was there until it hit his pad. Good job by Lumsden, the defenseman, to jump up in the play, looking to give Verbero the lead once again. Cross-ice feed. Nice saucer pass. Gives it for McCray. Couldn't get the shot away, though.
Pass.
That came off the stick of Sean Gresko, who now pulls it out of the pile away from Evan Williams. This line has created a lot of stuff here for this first period for Verbero. Maybe trying to set Lumsden up on the one-timer. Couldn't. Gresko will just keep it. Centers it, taken away, trying to poke it out to center, and just doing so with a little bit of help from Bradley Backen was Mevites. Elite Prospects will get a much-needed line change. There's Cullen McCray on for Spagnuolo. Spagnuolo gives it off here for Ferdinand. Ferdinand, who played the Champions Hockey Academy a little bit this past season as well for the under-16 program up there in the Maritimes. Spagnuolo then gets bumped off by McGuire, gets back to his feet, trying to help out his line mate Sturbu. Puck then just squirts free, and that allows Ferdinand to pick it back up. Nice little play down low to get ready for Sturbu. Tries to center it, but nobody there in black. The puck jumps out in front, but thankfully Sam Smith, the goal scorer for Elite Prospects, is there. That's mishandled. That allows Sutherland to come back the other way, but couldn't quite complete the toe drag at the line. Now he has it again. He'll try to wind it back up here into the Verbero zone. Sutherland on a cross. McGuire shoots, and he scores! Nice setup as McGuire came in late and went short side, and there was a delayed penalty as well, and it looks like we'll have a power play as well coming up here for Elite Prospects after the goal by McGuire.
And somebody we've mentioned a lot of times and will continue to mention his name, Jimmy Sutherland, driving the play, creating the opportunity, able to shift it over to Max McGuire, somebody who we talked about in the pregame and was able to catch up before the game started. That's Max McGuire's second goal on the weekend, and that was an absolute wicked wrister into the top of the net there.
Spagnuolo goes off for a penalty. Our referee today is Trevor Lewis. He was running the lines yesterday. Eric Seeley and Kobe Leitholt, are the linesmen. 1:15 to go here in this first period. It's the second power play of the game here for Elite Prospects. 2 power plays in a game this weekend in this economy?
Who would have thought?
How dare we? Sam Smith will set up behind the Elite Prospects goal now. Now down to 1 minute remaining here in this first period. Nice little move by Sutherland to come on in left wing side. Gives it on in late. Sam Smith getting hooked up a little bit. Good job by Kaczynski on the back check. Not allow him to pull the trigger as Verbero will clear.
And for Zach Spagnuolo, currently sitting in the box, maybe not where he wanted to be on his birthday. Today is his 16th birthday, so happy birthday to you, Zach, and hopefully you get out of the box soon and score some goals.
Hopefully not too soon for Verbero's side of things. It was a good rush that was turned away by the team in black. CO trying to dump it on back in the Elite Prospect zone. McGuire cuts that off as he gets a little bit of a firm bump coming by way of Brady Whitkin, but now Sutherland on the left wing side, a shot. Good save by Goodrich as he'll hold on to that with 18.7 seconds on the clock here in period 1.
It'll be interesting to see how Verbero kills off this penalty. Elite Prospects pretty much had them in their own zone the whole entire time for their first power play, calling upon Goodrich to make a plethora of good saves, and they're probably going to have to call on him again here.
Face off to his right. Scramble off the draw. Good job winning that one was Hudson Ewan. Up the wall. Kevin Pro just couldn't quite hold it in. Now Ewan will give chase. Dawes will have to come out and play it. Nicely, calmly back behind his own goal for Mikulski. 4 seconds and 3. One last long pass here. Look out. Merrick has it. Merrick, he shoots and saved by Goodrich as time expires. Not sure what it counted, but a good save by Goodrich to end the first period.
Lots of action back and forth. The goaltenders putting on a little bit of a clinic here. So far, the shots in this one, 12 for Elite Prospects, 9 for Verbero. Only 2 goals going in for the Prospects, 1 for the black and green side of Verbero. And a much more even first period compared to the first period we saw yesterday. Great even play on both sides. The back check has been a lot stronger. The defensive work has been a lot stronger overall. compared to yesterday's game, and good first period.
Good first period indeed. Adam Katsian started things off with a goal for Verbero. However, 2 goals, one from Sam Smith, one for Max McGuire for Team EP, has got them on the right track, leading once again after 1 period of play. We'll take a break, folks. We'll come back. We'll give you the box score and recap of period number 1 when we come back here on WSBN TV. And welcome back, folks, here to Munn Ice Arena. I'm here with one of the coaches here this weekend, Mike Cellino. Mike, thank you very much for joining us here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Been a very exciting weekend so far. A lot of great action. We have another great game today. First of all, I want to know your thoughts about last night's game because, we talk about how this is a showcase for the kids. They want to show off their abilities a little bit. But you could tell Verbero really wanted that win last night.
Yeah, I think we came out really slow and, short-term events so the kids don't know each other. And then after that first period, they started to talk a little bit more, started to get a little bit more energy, and then it started to come together from there. And it was fun and exciting because it was a nice little comeback.
You yourself, obviously you kind of have a good base on the 07 birth year. You coaching with Gilmore Academy and whatnot. So how is this? Does this year, does it have any certain strengths compared to years past or some that you may see coming up here in the future?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of speed. I think there's a lot of size, and you can see it actually in this event. There's some big boys out here, and guys are getting up and down the ice with a lot of pace. And it's an exciting birth year, and this is an exciting group to watch.
Who has really caught your eye so far on your team? We've obviously mentioned a couple guys. Hudson Ewan is obviously 2 goals yesterday. Thomas Putnam. Who are some guys that are on your bench right now that you're like, wow, this kid's really got something?
I think McCray on the back end and Crawford on the back end have done an incredible job. Lumsden on the back end's been solid. I think up front, Kuczynski is bringing a lot of energy and effort. You're right, the Hudson and Putnam have been putting up some points there. But also I think Ferdinand is bringing a lot of pace, a lot of heavy play. Spagnuolo is, he's bringing some skill and, getting a lot of general offense with pucks to the net and stuff like that. So overall, it's a really strong group.
Obviously, we talked about it a little bit on the pregame. We thought after 15 goals yesterday, both teams are going to probably want to be a little more responsible in their own end. It's not something you kind of told the kids before the game to, maybe not give up so many grade A chances.
Yeah, we don't have the first period that we had, but of course the second and third were, we won those periods, so that's what we wanted. Obviously won the overtime period, but the first period we definitely gave up too much, and we told them we had to clean that up and tighten it up a little bit.
So you got one more game tomorrow here. Is there anything that you're really trying to tell these kids in order to further help develop their careers a little bit? Because obviously you only get to see them for a few days. You might know some more kids from your past as a coach and what have you. But obviously we're trying to help these kids make that next jump to the junior ranks.
Yeah, we're telling them that they got to compete. Like, we know it's actually a long weekend. Today was a long day. They had a lot going on from morning till up until now. But we're telling them you got to dig deep, bear down, and really find that compete level. And I think they're doing it right now, so it's been exciting.
Mike's been one of the coaches this weekend here for Coach Verbero. He's glad you joined us. Mike, thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Happy to be here.
Good luck the rest of the way. We'll be back with more coverage here of the EP Pre-Draft Invitational on WSBN TV. Here with Sam Smith of Team Elite Prospects. He's a guy that we said quite a few names on the game last night. He's getting ready for Game 2 here tonight. Sam, how's the weekend been so far for you?
It's good. It's gone pretty well with all the off-ice training and, just the coaching. It's been good. We're a good team, too. We've gotten pretty close together, so it's a good weekend.
How hard is that? Because obviously you have a couple of your teammates here with you this weekend, so that's obviously a little bit helpful. But trying to quickly get to know these guys in order to form good five-man units, how tough is that for you?
Yeah, it was at the start, everybody trying to get to know each other. The locker room was pretty quiet, but, we've grown into it. We're getting better each day together, and we're talking a little bit more to each other, and our lines are going all around and buzzing.
Trading all Graham handles, Insta handles, and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
So talk about your game a little bit. We liked the fact that you have a lot of speed in your game. You like to move the puck by yourself and obviously find teammates out in the open. Talk about where those strengths have come from.
Ever since I was little, stick handling, shooting every day. All my coaches, I like to stick handle. Keep my head up, survey the ice. Like to look for the fast pass first, and then shooting the puck too. Got a pretty good shot.
Yeah, we definitely saw that a couple times. We'll get your name on the score sheet a few more times,
hopefully.
You went from a Team Illinois, here to Windy City this season here. How's that transition been? Because sometimes we talk about moving teams can be a little tough. How's that worked out for you?
Good. We do video a good amount, so video's been good. Practice our compete, shooting the puck, looking for our teammates, and, we push each other to our limits, and we get better every day.
That's all you can really ask for. What is something that you like to do outside of the rink? We've heard the term golf. It's a big four-letter word this weekend.
Yep.
Is there anything else outside of golf for you?
Big golf guy, but...
Are you a Fortnite guy?
A little bit. A little bit here and there on off days, but other than that, just working on the game.
Well, good luck here tonight, man.
Thank you.
Talking with Sam Smith here of Team Elite Prospects here at the EP Pre-Draft Invitational. And welcome back, folks, to Mun Ice Arena here. Game 2 of the Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational. A 2-1 lead for Team Elite Prospects. Tyler Kiel alongside Ryan Radosevich. Game 1 was helter-skelter to start off, Ryan, and we saw it through the entire game. Game 2 now, a little bit calmer. More penalties already, but certainly been a good game all around.
Yeah, 2 penalties called so far. Only 1 in all of last night's game, but last night's game, first period, was 4-0 in favor of Elite Prospects after 20 minutes. And this one, it's Verbero getting the first goal, and then Team Elite Prospects answering back with 2 goals of their own. So they take that first period lead into intermission.
It's really hard to judge a power play in a showcase like this, Ryan, because it's not like both teams have their power play units set up. They don't necessarily have that kind of at their ready to go. But Elite Prospects got some good looks on that first power play. None yet tonight so far, though, for Team Verbero. But on that token, though, great offensive chances on both sides. Alec Dawes had to make some good saves for Elite Prospects. Goodrich, not as flashy, but had to make some big stops as well for Verbero.
And Goodrich did make those big saves, pulling out the glove on the far right side, getting the blocker on the other side, or excuse me, the other way around. Sorry, I'm a full right goalie, so
you know what?
That's the way it goes for me. But
you're
for
in the
most
special
goalies.
ed portion of the goaltending union. You guys that catch with the wrong hand.
I like being different, I like being unique. But yeah, both these goalies here, the regular goalies, not full right like me, but Goodrich putting up a show, and Dawes as well, doing a lot better.
If you're on the Verbero side, you like the start, and obviously we just talked with Coach Cellini. He obviously was very excited at how his team played a little bit better here in this first period. Now for period number 2, what do we expect to see out of Elite Prospects to try to regain momentum?
I mean, I see the defensive game on both sides getting a lot better, and that's something that wasn't as strong last night. You saw a lot of defensive misses in judgment and missed assignments, but tonight the defense is looking a lot better. Both sides, though, seeming to settle down. The camaraderie between all the teammates is a lot better, and looking for a nice, even game.
Let's turn things back to the ice as we get set here for the second period. Elite Prospects and Team Verbero ready to go here at Mun Ice Arena. A very exciting weekend of hockey we have here in East Lansing, home of the Michigan State Spartans, a 3-time national champion Michigan State Spartans. Quite a few championships have been won in the entire state, of course. You go up north, you have 2 championships for Lake Superior State. A couple, for Lake Superior State. 1 for Northern Michigan, and of course 9 for the Maize and Blue. But they will not need to be worrying about winning a 10th here this weekend as well. Kind of lost on Thursday night, so now it'll be tonight a fun game between Quinnipiac and Minnesota. It'll be certainly to watch that one here once we wrap things up here from Mun Ice Arena as we're back underway. Elite Prospects going left to right. Here's Aiden Iojack now at the left face-off circle. He gets knocked down from behind. 15 seconds to go on the carryover power play. Here's Zach Spagnolo, the birthday boy, ready to come out of the box for Verbero. As the puck is cleared on down, that should just about do it. Elite Prospects will now be 0 for 2 with the man advantage. Touch on across here. Some room for Braden Wade to streak up to the neutral zone on the fresh sheet of ice. Wade certainly had a great performance last night. 3 points on this very active line here for Elite Prospects. Him, Merrick, and Iojack. Iojack's the one going to give chase in that corner. Iojack and Merrick, both former Alaska Blue Devils. We got a chance to talk with Iojack's dad a little bit after the game last night. He was super happy that we said his son's name right. I guess that's a very difficult name as we have another penalty coming up. This time it will be to Elite Prospects. So Verbero will go to the power play for the first time, second of the weekend.
It looks like they're going to call that one on number 10, Braden Wade. Just getting the stick into the skates of his opponent, tripping him up. Normal call, but it's a call that we didn't see that, or something that we didn't see that happen that often yesterday. The power plays are coming in hot today, though.
I wonder if it's mainly because the kids are starting to play more of their usual game. They were trying to play, dare we say, the skill type of game yesterday, maybe not as physical, but starting to play more of the usual 5-on-5 as Brody Peterson tries to work it towards the goal. Is knocked away by Perot. CO will move it to the far side. Coming down on the wing, Putnam. 2 goals yesterday, 3 points. Puts it back up to trying to go back up to the point, but trying to spin away from Perot. Great movement here by Putnam, the Vail, Colorado native. CO. Peterson just couldn't quite get a handle on it. Puck kind of stopped for a second. Now flying out of the zone. Here's a chance for Emmett Porter. Porter coming in, and a shot, a high riser that misses. Good job to cut him off there was John Crawford.
And a great stretch pass there from Ethan Chen in his own zone, springing him forward for that opportunity shorthanded.
Peterson touches it forward, but just off sides a little bit was Crawford, so we'll come back to the neutral zone area. Not yet 2 minutes gone in period number 2.
And somebody we've talked about a lot this weekend and will continue to talk about, Ethan Chen, number 15 for Elite Prospects. He was flying all over the ice last night, getting 2 goals and an assist, all in the first period, too. He's got that finishing ability, and he showed off the stick handling as well.
Saw a little bit of his defensive prowess in the offensive zone, picking off a pass leading to his second goal. Here is Lumsden now, almost getting his pocket picked by Backen, got it knocked away. Thankfully, Gabriel Clark's right next to him. Clark, who we didn't say a whole lot yesterday's game, former product of the Orland Park Vikings, before now, like we said, playing for the Fury. Right inside the line, Beauchene across, one-timer by Lou, and a good save by Dawes, and swimming in the creases the EP netminder, but his teammates will clear the puck down the ice.
That one going right up to the front of the mask of Dawes. That's one that kind of scares you if you're a goaltender, but you kind of like it. You get some energy from it when it hits you in the face.
Beauchene now coming back on in, trying to create another chance for this power play that has 23 seconds to go on it. Lou, who had that one-timer, point blank, very little room to really make any other move besides fire it away as the puck's cleared down.
Elite Prospects doing a great job of getting in the passing lanes, disrupting the offense of Verbero before they really get settled in offensively.
Here comes Sturbu, dances away by the other number 12 Mabutas. Penalty expires. Both teams 0 for on the power play, as Verbero now 0 for 1 on the evening. Sturbu, though, still with it behind the net for the team in black. Looking to throw it towards the side of the goal, hits Spagnolo. Couldn't redirect it on Cage. Gabriel Clark will cycle it back. Spagnolo still with it. Gets worked off the puck. Here's McCrate pinching on in to keep it on in deep. Good job here by the big, tall defenseman, who, as we mentioned yesterday, we were amazed by his size and everything else. 6'2", 196. There have been a couple big boys this weekend. We talked with Kevin Perot, who's on Team Elite Prospects. He is listed on the site as 6 foot, but he's actually 6'3", according to what he told us earlier today. So we got to make sure we tell how big these kids really are as offsides at the EP line.
I guess if you're one of the best young hockey players in the country, I guess you get your growth spurt a little bit early too. A lot of these kids 5'9" and up. Pretty sure there's 5 skaters listed at 6'2". For 15 and 16-year-olds, that's pretty impressive. That's almost towering over me.
Well, there is those alleged HGH they find in the processed pork and food you get from some of the supermarkets, and I ate a lot of that growing up, so maybe that's why I became so tall. Because if you haven't met my parents, a little bit taller than both of them.
You got the long end of the stick, I guess.
My brother and I both got the fortunate genetics to grow tall, so we can always reach the high shelves for our significant others and for our parents as well. Look out, a chance. Sutherland in front. McGuire, nice move for a second. Couldn't pull the trigger, though, as Katsian stayed with him.
A good defensive play there by Katsian, getting in the shooting path and making sure he didn't leave it.
Katsian, who opened the scoring at the 7:42 mark of the first period. Here's a chance. Bad angle shot. Unable to get that on the cage was Whitkin. Maybe a 3-on-2 the other way for Elite Prospects. McGuire, though, will just dump it on in. And they'll actually say he was on the wrong side of the red, so icing actually called against Elite Prospects. 4:18 gone here in period number 2.
A little bit of an unfortunate blunder there. It seemed like Max McGuire gained the red line at center, and they had numbers too. If that converted, it seemed like it could have been a 3-on-1, most likely a 3-on-2, but nonetheless, it comes back for a faceoff.
On the faceoff is McGuire, but it's one on back. Good job by Whitkin at the point. Now a shot by Parsa hits McGuire right in the leg. Pushed down out to center, but it's taken back by Jaden Shirk. Shirk, one of the other Fairmont prep products. 40 points in 19 games during the high school portion of the season for Fairmont. Back behind the net now, here is Crawford. Crawford, who received a little bit of praise in our intermission with Coach Cellino, who was on the bench. Cellino, of course, who kind of had a little bit of my background a little bit, played for Siena College in the ACHA ranks before becoming a coach of AAA hockey. Certainly some good hockey in the ACHA level, not just because I played in it, so I'm not just giving it all that tout, but great people around the league. I was able to do the ACHA National Tournament up in Marlboro a couple weeks ago, and I tell you what, 8 rinks, 5 divisions at the same time, felt like a good old AAA tournament, just like these kids are used to.
And you talked about the coaches. There's a lot of talent in the coaching pool here. A big reason why all these kids traveled this far for this invitational this weekend. You talk about Rob Schremp, who played for the Thrashers, Oilers, and Islanders back in his own day. And then Spiros Anastos on the Verbero side, who coaches the Serbia world team. So a lot of talent in the coaches here.
Guys that know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two. They are farmers. Bump it a bump, 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 bump. John Crawford on for Izzy Parsa behind the Verbero goal. Long stretch feet, a little too hot to handle, but now trying to skate into his Putnam in a foot race with Perot. Perot, though, using those long legs, that long stride to at least disrupt it. They both tumble off in the corner. Ewan then almost blew a tire right into the back-checking arms of Braden Wade. Iojak and Merrick now pushing it on ahead here for Elite Prospects. Merrick on the right wing, backhander. Tried to feed it on back, but a great back check by Putnam once again. That's maybe the third or fourth time in this game so far, Ryan, that Putnam's made a good defensive play after a good three-point night as this one sticked up in the netting and out of play.
Yeah, Putnam's been very impressive this weekend, taking you back to the last rush for Verbero offensively, showing off the speed, trying to get past McGuire there, and then coming back defensively, a good stick check right in the danger area, right between the hash marks, able to tie up the opposition there and keep them from getting a good shot on net.
Face off to the left of Goodridge, who's got a few more minutes before he'll be exchanged for Zayden Olam. And then, of course, Alec Dawes will be pulled in relief of Aaron Sox as the goaltenders will split once again. These two goaltenders finished off the game last night, so we'll see yesterday's starters in relief here tonight. CO dumps it on in, backhanded, and kind of caught up in the blocker of Dawes, and the ref just realized he caught it, so we'll have a face-off now in the EP end. You can certainly see with these goaltenders that not like you see maybe the higher college ranks or the NHL ranks where they always get these nice new pads, they always get them cleaned off every year. These goaltenders, you can see that they've made a few saves a time or two with some of those puck marks and the faded white pillows.
And for some goaltenders, they kind of prefer the pads that they've been using for a long time instead of getting that fresh pair that they got to break in and get used to. So these kids, I'm sure they got some emotional attachment to them as they carry them through the ranks of juniors.
Sean Gresko carrying Gavin Parks with him into the elite prospect zone. And to that point, I might be dating myself a little bit here. I myself have had white pads that have been marked up a time or two, but I always remember Archers Urbe, the old San Jose Sharks, Carolina Hurricanes goaltender, wore the same pads his entire career, and even when he first came to San Jose from Latvia, they were already looked like they were worn for about 5 years, and more or less for another 15 years after that.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
They probably had some work done on them.
Oh,
Garcia trying to get in front for Beauchene, but a great back check by Emmett Porter to disrupt that opportunity. Icing called here against Elite Prospects, and like we said, very offensive game yesterday. I know it's been kind of the story, Ryan, but it's not just the defensemen that have played well and better to structurally sound, but it's also the forwards and especially the centers on both teams that have certainly shown that they're a little bit better on the defensive end than we may have thought yesterday.
Yeah, some centers to highlight. Max McGuire, who scored today, he's had a very impressive game. Also got a goal last night. Braden Wade has been flying all over the ice and been very impressive on the faceoff dot, able to feed it over to Iojak for a goal in the first period of last night's game. Centers doing a lot of work here and definitely turning some heads.
Spagnuolo on the faceoff here for Team Verbero, but it was one on back this time by Joey Calder. Calder now will give chase. And then Bradley backing out on this line for Elite Prospects, given away by McCray. Mabitas gets it over. Calder trying to poke it towards the goal, but a great recovery by McCray will help spring a 3-on-2 the other way for Verbero. Sturbu with a shot. Blocker save made by Dawes. The rebound collected by Mabitas avoids a big bump as Ferdinand was coming on over, and that's a little bit of a size mismatch that could have been disastrous for the Victory Honda product.
And taking you back to that last shot there by Sturbu, it seems like that was just a throw it on net, but that was calculated. He waited till his teammates got towards the rebound area, and he threw it far side off the blocker of Alec Dawes to see if he could get a rebound for his teammates.
Here's Spagnuolo getting on ahead, tipped forward by Ferdinand. Spagnuolo, we mentioned yesterday, the Allen, Texas native, played for the Dallas Stars 14 and under team a couple years ago in the 21-22 campaign, last year, made it to Nationals, all the way to the U.S. National Tournament. Nice save by Dawes. This one goes up in the netting.
And we've talked about Zach Spagnuolo, obviously, turning 16 today, coming from that Allen, Texas area. He looks to take some talent from a young talent that's playing for the Dallas Stars right now, and Jason Robertson, one of the young, bright talents in the NHL.
Nice save by Dawes. Couldn't handle it, though, with the catching glove, but the rebound is pushed away by his teammates. Shots on goal now 5-1 in this period in favor of Verbero, 14-13 as we're coming down to the halfway mark in favor of the team in black. Here's Trent White at the point. Trying to throw it down low. Down there is Sam Smith, whose interview you saw during our first intermission break here tonight. Pass back up to the point. A little too hot to handle there for Cullen Tully out of Mission Viejo, California. Former Anaheim Junior Duck as well, one of the many former Junior Ducks. Puck was played with a high stick, so it face off inside the Verbero zone.
Not the only player coming out of California making the trip all the way to East Lansing this weekend. 7 skaters from the beautiful state of California making the trip all the way here to show off their talent and gain some new skills.
Not sure if he's watching today, but I'm going to give a little shout out to my friend of the Anaheim Ducks High School Hockey League, Eric Pesolano. Broadcast the games out there, and you'd be surprised. The Los Angeles Kings, Ryan, they have a high school hockey league out there. That's really big in California. Not so big maybe out here in the Midwest and out east, but a couple of those teams sponsor some high school leagues and further growing hockey out west.
Yeah, you love to see the game grow in any aspect, and growing out west in warm areas, that helps too. Sam
Smith trying to dance his way by, but a good job right in front of his own goal. Calm is Crawford, but now he gets beat. Then he hauls down Smith. Ref says play on. This one's flipped back out to center.
If I would agree with that one there. Seemed like he got tied up in the hands on the stick, but nonetheless, play is still going on.
Smith now trying to make his way by a couple of Verbero players. He'll just turn and dump it on in and go for a line change as we have now hit the halfway mark of this hockey game. A 2-1 lead for Elite Prospects. Still no goals, though, in this second stanza. Goals coming from Kutsian for Verbero, and maybe the one here for Iojak if he hurries. Iojak across. Oh, wow! And another great save by Goodrich. Talk about a way to make an exit. Splitting across. Knocked the net off accidentally in the process. As even Mikulski coming on over and giving Goodrich a tap on the pad saying, nice save, fella.
Goodrich getting taps from pretty much everybody passing him as he sits on the bench. His half game is done. We'll see him tomorrow in the later half of the morning game. Sunday morning, 9 a.m. is the pinnacle. But Goodrich, though, going back to that save. Athleticism and stretching out the left leg, leaving it on the ice, making a huge save there. And a big reason why their team is in it right now.
So now Zayden Ullem into the game here for Verbero. He ended up making 14 saves on 19 shots last night. Aaron Sachs down to our left as there's a high rise by Ojek that goes wide. Sachs made 13 saves on the 15 shots he's faced yesterday. There's a try by Mikulski, goes wide of the goal. Ullem was the one that was in net when Elite Prospects built a pretty hefty lead in that hockey game before Verbero staged the comeback in the latter stages. Up the boards, this will come all the way down the ice, and great hustle by Brody Peterson. However, automatic icing we're going by today, not the hybrid icing. Even though, should we call it hybrid icing now? Because it's now just the normal icing in the NHL and college hockey?
I don't even know what to call it. I wish they would have just said, hey, let's let play continue, because Jimmy Sutherland, number 14 for Elite Prospects, has been putting on a show, and I wanted to see him continue there.
Ullem will look to his right. Waiting his first shot on goal here as we have 9 minutes to go here in the second period. Now some time here for James Liu. He's had some good looks. A 4-on-3 rush the other way here for Verbero, but a great job by Cha to knock it away. Liu quickly back on, and as was Beauchesne. McCrate with a slap shot, and there's the first save of the game for Aaron Sachs. A good stick save. Lumsden gets tripped up in the corner. Good job coming on over there is Ryan Giordano. Giordano, who has the capabilities of being a quarterback on a power play. Haven't had to say him yet, but he's also capable as a defenseman, Ryan, playing on his off wing as a right-hander. Certainly something that not many are good specialized at. Down the wall, McCray will actually kick it away. That forces Sachs to come out and play it. Calmly pushed up the wall, but gives it away, but they say offsides was Gresco, and that would have been a great chance as Sachs trying to play the puck a little bit, but it almost came back to bite him.
Just offsides there, but I want to bring you back to the last rush there by Verbero. On defense for Elite Prospects, number 22, Parker Cha, using his big frame, pushing the opponent out of the way, able to stick check it away from his opposition and move it up ice quickly. He's been very impressive so far on the defense for Elite Prospects.
Gotta like the more structural game has been put on by both teams, and like I said, and we were talking with Coach Cellino there during the intermission. Very difficult for when you meet a bunch of guys to set up, dare we say, defensive zone strategies, but after one game, both teams have slightly calmed things down a little bit. Certainly showing off, like you said, their 5-on-5 abilities, because while their hands, their shot, that's all great stuff to see. you got to be able to show that you can play with other players that maybe you don't get to know so well.
And that's something that will never be tracked on a stat sheet, how well you can really get to know your teammates quickly and how well you play off of them. That's something that matters hugely in the NHL and any other league. You see people switch teams and they just don't have that offensive or defensive game that they had on the team prior. So getting to know your teammates and getting to gel with them is something big. That will never be on a stat sheet, but scouts will notice.
And obviously these kids, here's Ferdinand getting on in deep, Jimmy Sutherland taking it on back here for Elite Prospects. They want to make it up to the junior ranks. Be able to play 5-on-5 with some new faces is important. Here's Sutherland making his way through. Gabriel Clark works him off into the corner. Of course, last year's tournament, a success for many of the youngsters there in Colorado Springs, as 17 players were drafted to some junior level, 16 of which were drafted and have USHL aspirations. 3 were taken in the OHL draft, 1 in the WHL U.S. prospects draft. So a lot of these kids are playing for this weekend as McGuire gets bumped off the puck behind the goal.
A lot of these kids want to continue their hockey careers. Talking to pretty much all of them, they want to make it to the big show, the NHL. Obviously, first step is juniors, then most likely college, and then they'll make their way. But this is a good step and a lot of talent here in East Lansing this weekend.
They want to be able to make the big bucks so they can pay for their golf habits, apparently. That's the big thing that we picked up this weekend.
Lots of golfers between these two teams.
Gabriel Clark plays it on down. It'll be icing called here. Gabriel Clark, who is the younger brother of Hayden Clark, who plays for Wisconsin Stout NCAA Division III. So Clark obviously has maybe a little bit, I don't say first-hand experience, but has a good source to go to in terms of making it to the higher reaches of hockey.
And Gabriel Clark, one of those guys that doesn't pick the Connor McDavid, the Nathan McKinnon as his favorite player. He likes Dustin. Oh gosh, I screw up his last name all the time. I don't even want to try to pronounce
Byfuglien.
it. There it is. Thank you so much, Tyler.
Out of Minnesota.
He loves Dustin's game in every level, and he puts some of his game into his own as well, and it shows.
6'9", 350 pounds. No, he's like 6'7". He's listed as 280, but I've heard people say he actually does clip 300.
Ooh.
Or at least used to clip Dustin. I mean, man, that kid was a tank. And I say kid, even though he's like 10 years older than me now.
And out of the NHL at this point.
Oh, it's unfortunate, too, because he was something. And the Winnipeg Jets seemingly have never recovered since. Here on this sheet of ice, Parker Chop laying it down in the corner. Bumped on there by Brody Merrick. Wade goes back up to the point. Perreault. Nice quick feed across. Quickly put towards the goal by Chott. Springs to the side of the goal. Merrick, though, tied up by the centerman, Brady Whitkin. 5:24 to go here. Still no goals in the second period. Something must be wrong here with the scoreboard. Obviously, both these teams have been playing a much more sound game, 200 feet. Well, obviously, the goaltending has been solid as well to keep only 3 goals up on the scoreboard.
There's been a lot more structure in this game compared to Game 1. If you go back to Game 1, second period had 8 goals scored. Obviously, none here today, but we might see one.
Yes, we do. A turnover, and Braden Wade takes advantage of it over the shoulder of Alum. Broadcasters jinx. It's 3-1 EP.
Yeah, right, what we were talking about is sorry to stumble over you right there, but Braden Wade getting the loose puck in the slot. He doesn't make a mistake, puts it top corner, and that's his 4th point of the weekend. 2 goals, 2 assists for Braden Wade. He's put on a show here. The Michigan native coming out of Commerce Township, showing off in his own home state.
Great read there by Wade, the Victory Honda product. Also played for Liv Polar in the World Selects Invitational last season. Try at the side of the goal, trying to throw it on there was Hewen. Haven't had to say his name too many times on the score sheet side, but we know he can certainly find his way to put the puck in the back of the net. Time of that goal is the 15:02 mark for Wade, his second of the weekend. Now here's Porter back the way for Elite Prospects, trying to extend the lead, but the pass back for Chen was turned away. Good job by Lumsden on the back check to tie him up. Back behind the goal now, Lumsden have a chance to clear it out. It skips on by Thomas Putnam, but now it's taken here. Nguyen will make his way across the line, just on sides. Knocked off stride by Giordano, but maintains possession. Now he gives it away as Gavin Parks takes it back here for Elite Prospects. The former member of the Syracuse Nationals. Porter on the right side again. He'll try to go short side. He saw Alum cheating a little bit, but he put it off the outside of the cage. Gets it back to Chen, and a good save by Alum, and he holds on.
And Verbero had most of the momentum in this start of the second period. that momentum has been squandered. Elite Prospects put on a lot of shots in the last couple minutes and pushing their lead to 3-1 here off the goal by Braden Wade off the turnover. And the turnover, something we saw a lot of yesterday. That hasn't happened as much today, but Wade capitalizing on that one with his last goal.
Face-off won here by Verbero. Given away by McCrate. Good job by Backen. Now it's Calder getting tied up by the Little Caesars defenseman. Centering pass just missed Mabutas. Slap shot by White. Skips on goal. Head off McCrate. And good job by Alm to get back into position and smother it.
That's one of the scariest things as you're a goaltender, seeing that puck bounce off of teammates, opponents, sticks, and skates. But Zayden Alum, good job of staying in front of the puck, tracking it to his pads, and making the save.
Alum trying to settle things down here after giving up that goal on, I believe it was the second shot on goal he faced in his relief appearance here today. Alum, we mentioned his background, another California kid out of Rancho Cucamonga. Fun to say and fun to obviously watch this young man as well. Played for the Anaheim Junior Ice Dogs this year. We mentioned his .908 save percentage in 41 games played. Here is Mabutas trying to knife his way through the neutral zone, just plays it on in. Alum elects to stay in the net and allow McCrate to pick it up behind the Verbero goal. Nice little touch on by James Liu, but a little bit behind Gresco. Then makes up for it and at least pushes it out to center. Good hustle there by White to get back to it. And now Elite Prospects will break back in the zone. Turned on away here is McGuire fresh off the bench. Will help his mates regroup here with under 3 to play in the second period. Stretch feed was knocked down. McCrate, though, can't clear it. Him and McGuire come together, and McGuire gets the worst of it as he gets buried as McGuire checks the number. Long feed now. Here is a chance. Sturbu trying to center it. Spagnola was coming in, but a good job on the back check by Mikulski. Kind of had it caught up in his skates for a moment. Couldn't get a handle on it, but a good back check to negate a scoring chance, and a great save by Sachs on the one-timer by Ferdinand. Spagnola now behind the goal as Verbero trying to warm up to the task. A shot that is deflected as Mikulski will bring it out and flip it to center. Now maybe a 2-on-1. Sutherland, he has Smith. Trying to drag it through, but a great diving effort by the defenseman Katsian to turn it away, and now here comes Verbero the other way. A little bit of end-to-end now we go here in this second period. Good job to work that one off the puck. There's Cullen Tully. Cullen Tully, their former Anaheim Junior Duck. Trying to work it on ahead. Sutherland will push off the glass and down the ice.
I got to give big credit to Adam Katsian on that last play there. Absolutely thwarting the 2-on-1 that Elite Prospects was building there. Good diving poke check there just a minute ago.
And a great job, too, when you're diving like that to not take out the player, to just get the puck. That's certainly a good, unique skill to have.
That's not easy to do, especially when you're trying to slap that puck away as fast as you can, and he did a good job at not drawing a penalty at all.
A good save by Sachs leads a rebound to bring Sam Smith the other way for Elite Prospects. Takes a shot. Easy stick save made by Ullum as Parson may have gotten a stick in there to slow it up a little bit. Seo, though, runs into his own man. Smith gets it back. Smith, the shifty skater, centers it, but nobody there in white. As Seo now will come back the other way here. He gets tripped up a little bit. Penalty is upcoming for Verbero. Power play upcoming, at least for Verbero. Touchdown low. Spagnola with less than a minute to go here in the period. Back up to the point. Izzy Parsa. Left it along. Ferdinand couldn't handle it cleanly, and it's taken off his stick by Cha. He'll touch up. And we'll have a power play, second of the game, coming up here for Team Verbero.
And this might be exactly what they need in the waning minutes of the second period to try to get back into this one as Aiden Iojak travels over to his penalty box. Verbero didn't have the most chances. I'm pretty sure only 2 shots on that first power play, but this is a great opportunity to try to cut down that Elite Prospects lead.
0 for 2 is Verbero on the weekend. 0 for 1 in this game. 42 seconds to go in the period. Verbero trailing by a pair, like we said. Braden Wade gets that puck away from Kaczynski. He rings it around the boards. Good hold by Lumsden at the left point. Lumsden being worked on by Merrick. Not giving him a whole lot of room. Puck skips on by the stick of McCrate. He quickly backtracks as he was being pressured by Wade. Verbero just trying to quickly regroup to come on in here in the waning seconds of this middle stanza. Evan Williams out there for the penalty kill for Elite Prospects. Intercepts that pass and backhands it out. Maybe a chance for Wade, but he can't handle the bouncing puck, and neither can McCrate, but he slaps it ahead. 5 seconds left, maybe one more chance for Verbero. Lumsden, Beauchene knocked away from him, and the puck will come all the way out to center, and that's how we'll end period number 2. Just one goal goes up on the board in the middle period, Ryan, but I can tell you what, it was certainly a very well-sound game by both teams, and we certainly saw some different strengths that we did not see in yesterday's game, especially here in these middle 20 minutes.
The defensive structure between these two teams is definitely growing, and it's a lot better than yesterday. In a much calmer second period, only one goal coming off the turnover. Braden Wade was able to get it right in the danger area, the middle of the hash marks in the slot, and rifled it past the goaltender, Zayden Alum. So a rather calm second period, and Elite Prospects taking the lead into the third.
Shots were just 8-6 in that second period in favor of Verbero, but the goal by Braden Wade has Elite Prospects leading by 2 after 40 minutes of play. We'll take a break, folks, here on WSBN TV. When we come back, we'll give you how we got to this 3-1 score here in our continuing coverage of the Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational from Mun Ice Arena. Back here in East Lansing with former head coach of someone from my hometown, Grand Rapids. We're here with Spiro Anastas. Spiros, this is first of all, welcome to East Lansing. I know you're obviously very familiar with the Mitten State. Welcome back.
Yeah, I know it's great to be back. I have a lot of good memories in Michigan, having worked at Western Michigan and having worked with the Grand Rapids Griffins. A lot of good things have happened for me in this state, so I'm always happy to be back.
I'm not biased anymore now since the fact that he's working in my area of town, but now you're working with the Winnipeg Jets here as a scout, and having that experience as someone who's scouting talent. How can you use that experience to kind of help these kids here at this Invitational?
I think the biggest thing for me, and I talked about it yesterday during our practice sessions, is to make sure that they're keyed in on their details. So I tried to just share from my lens as a scout what I look for when I'm watching guys. And I work on the pro side, but it's the same thing whether it's pros or amateurs. You want to see guys that are doing the simple things and the right things consistently over a long period of time. So, simple things.
Just point us in.
Oh, we got a camera too?
Yeah, we got right there.
Okay. That's kind of the message I'm conveying to these guys, because those are the things that are going to get them noticed.
All good.
Get them to separate from their competition.
2 periods underway. Elite Prospects leading 3-1. Ryan Radosevich alongside Carla Zernis. Sorry about that one.
It's all good.
Welcome to the Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational, and something that the kids are here for, to try to learn the game. What are you trying to push on these kids to try to learn and get better?
Well, the biggest thing is decision making and emphasizing on good decision making. When is there opportunity to make a play? When there's opportunity to just play a smart hockey game and play a team game. Obviously, all these kids are highly skilled with high caliber. So the biggest thing is learning from them how to manage the game, where are the lines on the ice, how do we manage that, and making sure we just play on the right side of the puck and be in a good structure also. So trying to just little details of the game that are crucially important.
Who's somebody on your team that has impressed you so far?
There's several players. I would not want to just say certain names, right? But there's obviously certain players have done a really good job on it, and they're very, very highly skilled. Like I said, all of them are, but some players are just, again, they've done a good job coming out here and kind of picking up the things you say. Some players, it'll sometimes takes a month or two when you're in a season, but in such a short event, you can see some guys, like you tell them, you give them the direction or instruction, and they will respond to it right away the next shift and make adjustment.
You do a lot of coaching out in Latvia as well. Talk about the game out there compared to the North American game here.
I think the game overall now in the whole world is kind of it's the same, right? It's the same. It's obviously I've had opportunities to coach in Olympic Games and World Championships, and more recently coached the World Juniors. Obviously, those players are highly skilled, and when you got to cover Bedard, so those are tasks that are not easy. But no, the players in Europe overall are. A lot of them want to come play in North America and go to college and get education, and then hopefully sign after that. But the game's overall becoming the same. You got to be in a good shape to play, and got to be conditioned and dedicated to the game.
Game 1 yesterday, 8-7 win for Verbero. 15 goals scored. Today it's settled down a little bit, only 4 goals through 2 periods. Have these teams kind of found their defensive game more?
Well, thanks for reminding me, because we're on the wrong side of it. So I trying to.
Sorry about that one.
I was trying to forget about that game yesterday. So a little bit more structure, and a little bit, as I said, a little bit smarter decisions in the game. Hopefully we can take it home. Hopefully we'll learn from yesterday, because we got up big at the start of the game, and then kind of didn't go our way in the second half. Hopefully we'll learn from that and can finish it right here in the last 20.
Sweet. Carlos Ernest alongside Ryan Radosevich from the Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational. We're going to throw to a break. We'll be right back. Thank you so much.
Here live with Max McGuire of the Buffalo Junior Sabres and a member of Team Elite Prospects, properly wearing the EP brand there on the trucker hat today. Max, first of all, a good performance for you yesterday. You end up getting on the score sheet, getting a goal. That must have felt pretty good.
Yeah, it was an exciting game. I liked the pace of it, and nice physical game, and yeah, back at it tonight. So.
I mean, you and I were talking. You do play for the Buffalo Junior Sabres, but you don't play a whole lot in Buffalo. So you traveling a little bit here out to East Lansing. This isn't really new for you, right?
Yeah. This is kind of a short stop. We went to Arizona last year, and yeah, I mean, we don't really play many home games, so we're always traveling. Nothing new.
How's the Southwest Rewards miles working for you?
Oh, great. I mean, we're there a lot, so yeah.
So how do you really model your game after? Obviously, you have a little bit of size, especially for someone your age as well. You kind of have a beat on some of the kids around your age group here.
Yeah, I mean, I watch Matthew Tkachuk a lot. He's physical, he can produce, and another one is Tage Thompson with the size, speed, and shot, and those are the 2 guys I put my game after. So.
Tage is a pretty good player. He's got that good shot off the wing. How do you develop that as a player? Because some kids, we were talking about it last night, shooting on the rush is kind of something that you really have to work on, especially as a young player.
Yeah.
How do you kind of continue to make that a focus as you're trying to move up the ranks?
You got to work on your shot every day and just keep improving and work on new things, and yeah.
I'm going to say Matthew Tkachuk's another great one. A little bit of a pesky player, a little bit there, and especially when you get up to these higher ranks, these kids. You'll be playing in a year or two. They're going to say, "Oh, look at the 17-year-old kid trying to come into our league." You're going to have to hold your own a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I like the physicality part of the game, and I mean, I have the size and stuff to do it. So, I mean, I take advantage of that.
So, if outside of hockey, what are your interests? What are something that you like to do? Maybe, something you want to do beyond hockey once your career's eventually, hopefully not soon, said and done.
Oh, I love playing golf. I mean, I've been doing it since I was little, and it's just a great off-season sport, and I'll be playing that till I'm very old. So,
are you going to stay in town tomorrow, play a little golf? There's a couple good courses right down the road here.
Yeah, when we were driving in, I saw them. They look very nice, so maybe. We'll see.
That's a great place for golf. We're talking with Max McGuire. He's on Team EP and also plays for the Buffalo Juniors. In a very much different game, we go to a third period of this Elite Prospects pre-draft Invitational, but just 4 goals up on the scoreboard. Tyler Kuehl alongside back with Ryan Radosevich. Ryan, great interview, by the way, you with Carlos Arnas. We were helping him out as well. We should mention that because as the coach with the Latvian World Junior team, also he's going to be broadcasting for Latvian television for their coverage of the World Championships coming up this spring. So it was kind of a twofold thing. We help him out, he helps us out. We're all happy, right?
It's all about gaining experience, and for me, getting to interview some people I haven't yet, that's awesome. But for these kids, they're gaining a lot of experience from the coaching staff, from their teammates, showing off their skills and getting better. And this game is heating up, that's for sure.
It's certainly exciting, much different. We had a total of 12 goals at the end of 2 periods yesterday. It was 6-6 in that crazy game yesterday. But 3-1 the score in favor of Elite Prospects. You just saw the interview with one of the goal scorers, Max McGuire. He scored back in the first period. Braden Wade's tally in the second period was the only one we had, Ryan. But certainly we're seeing a much different style of game from both these teams, but it's making it a lot more interesting because you just try to figure out when is it going to open up again.
And open up again, I don't know if it really will. Not like Game 1. Both these teams are a lot better defensively structured than they were at Game 1, obviously. Now they're getting to know each other a bit. They settle down. They know what gaps they're supposed to fill and everything. But it should be a good third period, and Verbero, who's been down most of this weekend, they get another chance to build back from a 2-goal deficit here in the third.
They have to kill off the remainder of a power play, though. It'll be another power play here for Elite Prospects, so they got a little bit of work to do here, but it's been an exciting game so far. Let's turn things back to the ice as we get set for this third period of the second game. We got one more tomorrow. Don't you worry, kids. We'll see a 9 a.m. start time, so maybe the game might be a little bit slower tomorrow, Ryan, because I think the kids, I don't know how much coffee they drink nowadays with all the nutrition that kind of determines that maybe Starbucks lattes aren't the most healthy things to have before a game. I still do, but that's because, well, my parents used to give me Mountain Dew when I was a kid.
Whew.
Well, okay, for some reason, coffee and caffeine focuses me, but espresso wires me. And Tim Hortons coffee, I should say that. Tim Hortons coffee helps.
See, I grew up on mug root beer. That was
Mug
my.
root beer.
I wish I could grab one of those right there.
I grew up with the IBC root beer, the glass bottle ones.
Those are good too.
I enjoyed those because my dad and I felt like we were both having a pop together when I was a kid. But obviously, you can't really drink beer when you're a kid. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if this is the reason why root beer became one of my favorite drinks, but it is called root beer, and it did feel like I was joining my dad there with a drink. But of course, no alcohol until I was 21. That's for sure. Me being at Michigan State, I cannot do anything otherwise.
Exactly. So actually, power play will be 113 here for Verbero. They're second of the game, third of the weekend. Both teams 0 for so far. Elite Prospects had their 2 power plays in the first and second periods. We begin this third period with a 3-1 lead here for Elite Prospects. Obviously a much different game, but with that more intriguing as well because you get to see these kids not used to just playing willy-nilly wide open, dare we say pond hockey, Ryan. They have to play a tough, structured, good checking game, and this time of year especially, that's kind of something that these kids will have to play when they get to the junior ranks. Here's a shot by Whitkin, gloved by Aaron Sachs.
Taking you back to the streaking John Lumsden, skating into the zone, putting on the brakes of the far corner, and because of that freshly cut ice, you could see the cuts Lumsden made on the far corner, showing off some impressive skating there and some impressive speed and stick handling as he brought it into the zone.
You see a little bit of wet spots here still on the ice. The bright LED lights they have here at Mun Ice Arena shining here, that we can see up here from our booth, right on top of the bleachers here, and kind of gives us more of an intimate feel there, we say, Ryan, compared to, I guess, the normal broadcast here at Mun, because parents come up to us and say that we're doing a good job, and at least so far, got plenty of time to mess that up.
Yeah, I like the family and the friendly aspect of this weekend so far. It's been nice. People come up to us, and some kids even coming up to us for interviews of their own.
Exactly. There's a drop back by Putnam. That misses McCrate. McCrate now will retreat back into his own zone. 7 seconds to go on this power play. Maybe one last rush here for Verbero. Lumsden got cut off by Mikulski, got it in deep. Maybe one last chance. Putnam cuts to the goal, but he falls off stride. Penalty expires. Each team now 0 for 2 this evening with the man advantage. Bradley Backen just caught that puck in a wet spot, but thankfully for him, Gavin Parks is right behind him. They bump into each other as Hudson Nguyen gets it out to center for Verbero. The goal scorer so far, we mentioned Wade, as here's a pass. Gavin Parks, you saw a puck just die right there, and maybe a little too much water put on the ice by the Zamboni, but it was a good save by Allum on a follow-up chance. But the goal scorer so far, as I was rudely interrupted by that last chance, goal for Adam Katsian. That's the lone goal for Verbero. As now Sam Smith, he scored the first goal of the game for Elite Prospects, trying to knife his way through. The other one, as we mentioned, as we came back from break, Max McGuire. Poked on ahead here by Nolan Beauchene. McGuire trying to cut him off right in front of his own bench, and does. Puts it back behind his own goal here. Is the ice just not quite settled yet, Ryan, and we've seen it so far here in the opening minute and change. Here is Sam Smith trying to knife his way by Beauchene, and does, and just dumps it on in. Obviously realizing maybe it's a little too tough to carry the puck all the way in, so just get it on in deep, keep it away from your own goal.
And you mentioned the water still on the ice. That water still on the ice in the near corner, absolutely stopping the puck there. Maybe they should have waited a minute more, but hey, we got hockey to play, and all these kids are absolutely jumping at the bit to get back out the ice.
Now, one thing that is worth mentioning, because obviously, you and I, we have the NCAA background a little bit, and some pro and maybe some junior hockey as well. Those are timed intermissions where the Zamboni might be done with about 6 minutes on the clock, and the Zamboni will sit there. Well, these kids, here's a save by Aaron Sachs. Nice, good glove save by number 1 in white. These kids are used to whenever they're at in AAA showcases, once the Zamboni is done, you get on the ice. So I guess maybe they are maybe a little more used to it than we're seeing up here.
Probably a little more acclimated to it, but yeah, definitely seeing the puck stop on the water. Something that I'm not too acclimated of as we see a player slip to the ice there.
Aaron Sachs seemingly picking up right where he left off, and goal for Elite Prospects. Another Fairmont Prep goaltender as he lets that one go off his left pad. Also played a little bit last season in the World Selects for the California Patriots. Verbero trying to keep it on in deep as this top line of Spagnuolo and Sturbu, they've created a lot of havoc. Of course, Ferdinand, the hero in last night's 8-7 Wild contest, the overtime winner.
And Ferdinand getting that game winner, but it couldn't have came if it wasn't for Hudson Ewan with the game-tying goal with about 16 seconds to tie it up at 7-7. What an entertaining game yesterday was.
That was a very fun game to call, a game that was rather unexpectedly high-scoring, at least on both sides the way it started out, but Verbero really bared down as now it's played up to the point here. John Crawford, he had a few points last night. That attempt went wide of the goal, lands on the stick of Sturbu. Looking back to, only dating back to last year's showcase, Ryan, each game has been one goal, a one-goal game so far. Of course, we said 2 went to extra time last year and the overtime last night. Right now, a 2-goal lead for Elite Prospects. Nice move by Merrick to get away from the check, but a great job coming over and knocking that one away was Gabriel Clark. Gabriel Clark, very positionally sound as a defenseman. Doesn't like to rush either his offensive chances. As here's Ferdinand with a shot. Ooh, that hit Mikulski right in the back of the leg as he gets up, kind of limping. That's going to be a stinger for sure. Nice big welt tomorrow morning. There's another block shot. This one goes off the leg of Merrick.
A way to put your body on the line for Mikulski there. Obviously not his normal team, but that's a good habit to have in hockey on any team, any level.
Now here's Riley Mabitash streaking on ahead for Elite Prospects. Touches it along for Sutherland. Sutherland gets a toe drag. Gets bumped off stride by Crawford. That'll allow Whitkin to pick it back up and try to wind it up here for Verbero. He just trips over the red line as Kaczynski gets knocked off stride. Good job by Cullen Tully to come on over. Cullen Tully, very positionally sound, defensive defenseman, if you will. Kaczynski now back in for Verbero as Tully once again gets in the way, getting a stick in the way of that chance.
Good defensive play there by Tully, like you mentioned, just getting his stick right in front of the shot and nicking it wide.
That's something that's, dare we say, a little bit different as this puck is deflected up almost into the bleachers and out of play. Not too many, dare we say, stay-at-home defensemen that come up through the ranks here from the AAA, obviously the 13 under, 14 under, because obviously kids want to get on the scoring side as well, but we have a couple of those. We mentioned Clark, he's one guy, and we talked to Kevin Perot earlier. I mean, both guys and both players and all these, including, as we mentioned, the aforementioned Tully, they know how to score, but obviously showing off that they're really good in their own zone. That's the most important thing about being what they call a defenseman.
We've gotten to learn a lot of things about defensemen on both sides, and a lot of them say they model their game
Whoa,
after
two
Cale
good saves
McCarr.
by Sachs. Sorry about that, Ryan. Good chance around the doorstep for Whitkin, turned away by Sachs. You mentioned Cale McCarr, obviously a very good gifted guy at both ends of the rink as a defenseman. Thrown back up to the point. Here's McCrate. Certainly has the wheels like McCarr. You saw he was showing off that ability earlier today here at Mun Ice Arena. During our skills competition portion of the weekend, there's a shot by Backen, patted away by Allum. The first save he's had to make in this period. Shots on goal were 18-17 in favor of Elite Prospects at the end of 2 periods, which is a very small number compared to yesterday. So far, 5 shots on goal in this period for Verbero, and as I mentioned, just the 1 for EP, but they still lead 3-1.
40 shots for Team EP, 42 for Verbero in the last night's contest. Over 80 shots between these two teams. That's a good amount of shots, and goaltenders were definitely called upon throughout every period.
Here comes Putnam working his way on in. Putnam, we've seen his name more so in his defensive end in this game compared to last night where he put up 3 points. Putnam, one of the few Coloradoans we have here. Hudson Wynn keeps it in at the blue line. Nice little touch pass trying to find Peterson, and then Cha ends up knocking down Putnam right in front of the Elite Prospects goal. Parker Cha, very big physical presence, but also likes to show off his offensive skills as well. He hopped on the bench, got a line change. Now off the bench, McGuire coming in late, and a wiring wrister finds the glass.
And a good setup there by Emmett Porter, skating into the offensive zone, picking his head up and finding the open man.
Now Lumsden will try to rush the puck the other way. Stopped on a dime, but lost the change as the puck is played out to center by White. Taken back, though, by Verbero. Gresco tries to knife his way by, got by Giordano, but a good job by White to stick with them. Get the puck back for Elite Prospects, at least for a moment. It's now getting it back as Gresco being worked on by the other number 6, Giordano. Another big bump thrown behind the goal as James Liu tries to get it free. Centering pass out in front. Good job to knock that one away with Sam Smith, as that pass may have been intended for Brody Peterson for Verbero.
That positioning for the forward line of Elite Prospects there may not have been there yesterday, but today they know their assignments, they know where they're supposed to be, and getting that loose puck out of harm's way.
Sam Smith coming down from his usual wing spot, usually covering the D-man up high, coming down to help on the weak side. Something obviously very important. And offsides as McGuire's a little too ahead of the play. Just like I said, the defensive awareness of these youngsters, very important. And we've seen a few scouts with some clipboards and some black pamphlets walking around trying to take notes on these young players. Something they certainly like to see when guys that know how to put up points also know how to play in their own end. Coming down to 8 minutes into this third period. A 2-goal lead for Elite Prospects. Like we said, folks, we have the third game of this Invitational tomorrow morning. 8:45 pregame show. Ryan Martin, our producer, will be providing the coffees, right?
I hope so. I need something to be awake for that.
Here's a chance for Ferdinand, and that one just goes wide as Evan Williams had some issues with the puck there for a moment. Almost allowed the Merritt timer, his second goal of the weekend. Touchdown forward here by Spagnuolo. He'd like to get back on the score sheet. Has an assist already today, but couldn't get by both Tully and Williams. Tully then knocks it away as McGuire gets it back here for Elite Prospects. Calmly pushed it on back here as game kind of settled for a second by Ojak now. Will push it up the glass. Collected here by Gabriel Clark. Cross-ice feed. Not collected cleanly by Spagnuolo, but he gets it back. Ferdinand trying to drop it back. Couldn't get that one to Sturbu, but then him and Smith with some stick jockeying in the face-off circle. Leads to a shot by Kutsia, and it goes off a leg. Puck kind of just stopped there for a second. Now look out. Quick play here. Sturbu. Ferdinand couldn't get the shot away as it fell off his stick, and Evan Williams will clear it down the ice.
Good play there by Williams. Just staying on his man. Sometimes as a defenseman you want to drift to an open position when your teammates have the puck. But because of that turnover, Evan Williams was in the right spot defensively, able to step up and get in the shooting lane there and disrupt that play off the turnover.
Seemed like also the chance for Ferdinand. He really wanted to really lean into that shot, but unfortunately the puck just fell off the stick. Not enough stick wax on him for that look. McCray with a long wrister. I don't think Sachs saw it. It went over top of everyone's head and ended up finding the glass. Now a chance the other way. Rushing up the ice. Here's Joey Calder. The New Englander gets it on in deep as Allen plays it over to the far side out of his goal crease. Kept on in by Parker Shaw, but now look out. Bumped on ahead. Some room here for Witkin. Streaking on the left side. Dropped it back. Got it by Mikulski, but Cha coming back got that one in the way.
A nifty pass by Witkin to go through the defender's legs there, trying to feed it off to his teammate, but just couldn't get there.
Good hustle by Mikulski as well, to not allow a clean break towards the goal. Kaczynski's shot. Good right pad save. A rebound was collected by his centerman. Is now a little bit of pushing and shoving between Wade and Kaczynski as a shot from the point goes wide as Crawford tried to sift that one through. McCrate now. He'll step into one. Good glove save by Sachs as he holds on as the game's getting a little bit physical now.
It's getting pretty physical. And for Verbero, down 2 goals, they've had most momentum. Actually, I would say all the momentum here in this third period. The only shot coming from Elite Prospects early when they were on the power play advantage. So they've gone about 9 minutes here without a shot on net. Verbero looking to get back into this one, something that they did in yesterday's game.
Shot 7-1 here in this third period so far in favor of the team in black, to go off Ryan's point. One-timer by Crawford, blocked. Good job getting in the way. That was Mabitas, but he couldn't get it out. Second shot is blocked as Sutherland got in the way. He can't find it. Ewan does, but he puts it wide of the goal. Hudson Ewan out of South Carolina, played up north for Nichols School in Buffalo, one of the prestigious prep schools in the Northeast. Now it's played out to center by Merrick. Merrick and Iojak, 4 Team Elite prospects, both from Alaska, but both played this year for the Colorado Thunderbirds. Turned over, a chance for Putnam, but a great stick lift by Mabitas. Did not allow him to get the wrister away. And now Kevin Perot, the defenseman, will lead the rush for Elite prospects. Trying to get it back to him with Sutherland, couldn't do so. Up to the line, Mabitas across, a shot by Giordano, sticked away by Allum with some traffic around him. Now catch being played here by Giordano and Perot. Sorry, go ahead, Ryan, to your point.
I was going to say there was a big play by Mabutas with that stick check in his own zone. Because of that, Elite Prospect were able to build it up ice for the first time in a while and get a shot.
Big check thrown by Crawford, is unable to let that one go as Porter. Bad angle try goes wide of the goal. Mabitas, who's played for 3 different teams in 3 straight seasons, played for the Dallas Stars in his home state of Texas a couple years ago. Hold that thought as a shot by Lou. Juicy rebound, skipped over the stick of Putnam coming in late as the puck is played up into the rafters and out of play, up into the bleachers, out of play. But to Mabitas' point, last year he played for the Vegas Junior Golden Knights AA under 14 team. So, dare we say, well-versed.
And he showed off his skill. He's got a quick release. He likes to spread the puck throughout the whole entire ice with his nice passing skill. As we get back into this one.
It'll be dumped on ahead here by Elite Prospects, back on into the Verbero zone. Trying to center it there was Porter, couldn't do so. Bradley back and knocks it away. Now it's turned on up here. A chance for Verbero. Gresco, right wing side. He'll take a shot. A juicy rebound off the chest of Sachs. A rebound chance, and he scores! James Liu comes in late. He's had a couple of chances in this game, but he buries that one, and Verbero is within 1.
James Liu, somebody we talked about in the pregame. He's been all over the ice. He's got great speed and great positioning there, crashing the danger zone right in front of the net, getting that juicy rebound like you mentioned, and his first point of the weekend.
Liu going into the danger zone, one of the top guns for the Colorado Rampage here, the under-15 team this season. At 36 points in 52 games with the 16-year-old, and he scores a big goal for Verbero to get him back now. It's a 3-2 lead for Elite Prospects. Time of that goal, the 11:43 mark. Izzy Parsa will get the secondary assist on that goal as well. That gives him his first point of the weekend. Evan Williams now winding up behind his own goal. The big man rushes it on in, got by Lumsden, tries to throw it towards goal, and unfortunately blew a tire. That allows Parsa to get it back, but Backen picks his pocket, trying to center it, goes off a leg. Lumsden pushes it away. Now a shot, and they score!
What a snapshot.
What a shot indeed, Ryan. That came off the stick of Emmett Porter, who came in late. A loose puck, and he just turned and gunned it over the shoulder of Allum, and just like that, Elite Prospects restores the 2-goal lead.
Yeah, you blink and you miss it. Evan Porter, right place, right time. The native out of Syracuse, New York, with an absolute rocket of a snapshot on the loose puck. Able to, push the lead back to 2. Verbero needing to do a lot of work now, once again, to get back into this one.
Goals 42 seconds apart. That goal for Porter, his first of the weekend, second point of the weekend as well. He and Gavin Parks have both on the goal-scoring side. The 2 Syracusans. Is that what they call them? Syracusans?
Syracusean?
That sounds about right.
I'll ask him once I visit New York.
Once we go up to a little bit upstate, have a couple of those upstaters here and Western New Yorkers as well here joining us this weekend. So now, back to a 2-goal lead. Elite Prospects looking to be firmly in control, trying to even the weekend, if you will, at a game and a piece. Here's a nice move by Sturbu. He takes a shot. That goes off the crossbar. What a toe drag by Brennan Sturbu. as the Huntington Beach young man was able to make a nice move, but unfortunately found the red iron.
Brendan Sturbu back home, he's called Sturb, showing off the impressive playmaking ability there. Toe drag, a move that's becoming very, very popular in today's game, and for good reason. You saw the shot there go right off the crossbar.
Puck gets played right on goal, stopped and held by Sachs this time. And when I did my scouting for Sturbu and watching game film, I wrote down, hey, he's got good hands. Well, he certainly proved me right on that little rush.
That he did.
6:53 to go. That goal for Porter, by the way, an unassisted marker for Elite Prospects. Down to under 7 to play here in this third period. As we mentioned, the streak of 1-goal games is in line here. As Verbero trying to, obviously, they'd probably like it to be a 1-goal game in their favor. The reigning champions, if you will, from last year. But now here comes Braden Wade working out the center. Gets hauled down by the aforementioned Sturbu. So it'll be another power play. It'll be the third of the game coming up here for Elite Prospects. Got to be careful with playing the puck in their own zone like this, though, with the net empty now, as Sachs wasted no time to go to the bench.
Easy call for the refs there. Sturbu definitely pulling down his opposition there as Team Verbero is going to touch up.
Going off will be the hold for Sturbu. So right after getting his name on the score sheet in a good way, he ends up on the wrong side of it. Third power play of the game, as you mentioned, for Team EP. They are 0 for 2. But certainly a chance to, I don't want to say put this one away, Ryan, but give them a healthy cushion, at least the way this game has gone compared to what we saw yesterday.
And I don't know if anything is a healthy cushion, because we saw 5-0 in last night's game, but obviously only 2 goals seems a little more dangerous here, but anything could happen in the game of hockey.
Verbero did score 3 goals in 58 seconds in the second period yesterday, so to your point, Ryan, you're right. But the way Elite Prospects has played defensively in this one, only having surrendered 27 shots on goal through about 50-so minutes of hockey.
No lead is safe here in the pre-draft Invitational.
No lead is safe in hockey in general. We saw, the Penguins came back from a 5-0 deficit in this season, and 3-goal deficits with my Toronto Maple Leafs is a curse in itself, it seems like.
Hey, I'll pump the tires of the Red Wings, even though they aren't doing too good. They had a 4-goal comeback against the Penguins as well.
Yeah, but they're out of the playoff race.
Yeah. Hey, maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Could have been this year, but that's a story for a different day. Kevin Perreault at the left point with 1:20 to go on this power play for Elite Prospects. Backdoor, Tully was looking, but a great save by Ullum, as coming in late was Brody Merrick. Looked like he had a wide-open net, but the white pad of the Verbero netminder turned it away.
And Ullum being aggressive on that one. If he stood back in his crease, he would not have met that pass on the opponent's stick. Because he was active on top of his crease, he was able to break up that play. A great save there to keep his team in it.
I know, I did say that about Ullum. Very strong movement and excellent position as well. He showed both off on that save. Keeping Merrick off the goal-scoring side of things here. Long shoot in, stopped by Sachs with 40 seconds to go. Under 5 to play here in period number 3. Elite Prospects looking to get the win here to give themselves a shot of winning the title. The Elite Prospects pre-draft Invitational champions is offsides at the Verbero line. Speaking of Detroit Rock
City.
There you go.
I got that one. I may be young, but I got that one.
Oh. I promise I'm not 75 years old, but I feel like it sometimes. But obviously, Ryan, you're under 4:44 to play. If you're Verbero, obviously killing off this last 30 seconds is more important, but they got to start pushing offensively here.
They do. They got to make sure they get this clean penalty kill, and then we'll look towards the net of Verbero, as it should be vacant a couple minutes after that.
Shots 10-4 in favor of Verbero in this third period. But, like we said, the 2-goal deficit, they shrunk it to 1, but unfortunately it lasted less than a minute. As the wiring slap shot of Emmett Porter, the former Rochester Coalition U14 product, made it a 4-2 game. Penalty about to expire, though, for Sturbu. So we'll back to 5 aside. 0 for 3 now is Elite Prospects. Sturbu fresh out of the box has Ewan driving the goal. A shot off a leg and wide of the goal. That certainly would have sparked something for the team in dark here tonight. White now behind the goal. Trent White played a really good weekend so far, but unfortunately that pass misses. Here's a chance for Peterson. He fans on it right on the doorstep. Beauchene now quickly on it as Verbero trying to rise to the task here. Getting checked off, though, is Beauchene, the Dunstable, Mass native. Now it's Lumsden in the corner, trying to center it for Porter, but he was tied up. Good job by Bradley Backen to come in there. The Mason, Ohio native showing off his defensive prowess.
Taking you back to that last chance there by Peterson, trying to stick handle in tight, maybe one move too many, as Sox was able to make the save.
Seeing the puck fall off a couple of Verbero sticks in this one, especially in this third period. Pass goes off a stick towards the goal. Gloved on down by Sean. He clears it ahead, and it's a breakaway for Ethan Chen. One-on-one with Allen, but he fans on that one. McCray barrels into the goal. Lumsden blows a tire on the far side. All sorts of craziness and nonsense happening in this last 30 seconds.
We've seen the goal come off his pegs on the right side multiple times. First time coming off the pegs on his left side, but that play was sprung free by a stick in the lane of the aforementioned goal scorer, the one who pushed it to 4-2, Emmett Porter. Great stick in the lane, able to disrupt it, and spring one free over to Chen, who just lost it on the stick handle, trying to confuse the goaltender, Zayden Ullum.
These pucks are just not selling for these big guns, these top scorers for both teams. As now here comes Izzy Parsa trying to lead the rush back the other way for Verbero. Touched it along Beauchene, puts it towards the goal, but it goes softly wide. Beauchene, one of the North Shore Academy products. Also played for the Seacoast Performance Academy under-15 team in parts of this season. Down to 2:40 to go here in this third period. We see Ullum down to our left, possibly creeping out just a little bit.
Spiros and Astos telling him to hold, to wait till possession, and that was a good call as they have to fall back here.
Gresco gets bumped into by Mikulski, and now here's James Liu. He has one goal in this period. His shot goes off a stick and wide. Empty net now here for Verbero. Pass almost intercepted. Now Ohio Jack trying to get it in and does. Smith saw the empty net, turns, spins, and shoots, and it goes in. An empty net goal for Sam Smith is second of the game, and that will give Elite Prospects a 5-2 lead.
Second of the game is right, and that was somebody we talked to before the game, and he said, are you going to get a goal tonight? Hill said, we'll see. Now he's got 2 goals of the game. He scored the first one for Elite Prospects back in the first period, and gets what most likely will be the game-ending goal with the empty net.
We'll give Garen Mikulski an assist, the secondary assist. Iojak the primary on that empty netter. That goal coming at the 17:48 mark of this third period. 5-2 the score now is Elite Prospects. In a very different game. I don't speak English right, folks. I don't speak good English. But nonetheless, Elite Prospects has done exactly what they've needed to do here today, especially locking down defensively, and of course some big saves by Aaron Sachs in this third period, Ryan, because there were a couple chances that Verbero could have easily cashed on if this were maybe 24 hours ago.
Aaron Sachs getting 13 out of 15 saves last night, and today he's been tested, and he's proven he's a good goalie, that's for sure.
Made a nice save on that point shot and a good rebound control as well, but Spagnola now gets it back. Centering pass just went off a stick of Perot, it looked like, forcing it to hop over Ferdinand, who was creeping in on the back door. Play out to center by Wade. Gavin Parks was out there, a little too hot to handle for him. No icing. Gabriel Clark, the defenseman, coming back for it. Had the puck kind of fumble on him a little bit, but he got it on ahead. Now Ferdinand made a move that was a little too strong for the puck's sake. Back in the neutral zone, Giordano. It'll be Perot playing it forward. Gavin Parks looking to get away. Spagnuolo giving him 1-2 taps. Then Ferdinand tries to throw a check. Ends up hitting Spagnuolo. Now Sutherland down the left wing side. With a shot off the mask. That's in your head, Zayden Ullum, as it goes out of play.
Now, although Team Verbero were able to score 3 goals in 58 seconds yesterday, it's less than 58 seconds. It's 40 seconds left in this one. And it seems like the streak of 4 games between these two teams in the Elite Prospects pre-draft Invitational will come to an end here. Looks like Elite Prospects is going to comfortably pick up this one.
Lumsden now trying to get it on ahead here. Maybe one last rush here to maybe get some momentum for tomorrow morning's game. Shot by Wicken goes off the stick and wide. That's Philip Kaczynski, the Belarusian, getting worked off the puck by Mavitas as Chow will poke it out to center as we're down to 20 seconds remaining. We saw a lot more strengths, like we said, from these players today, Ryan. That's exactly what I'm sure the coaches and even scouts like to see here. One last chance here. Merrick, he has Sutherland. Nice sifter across. A good sauce pass, but a little too hot to handle for Sutherland as it went wide. 2 seconds and 1, and That's how we'll end this game. Elite Prospects evening the weekend with a win, 5-2 the victors here. We'll credit Aaron Sachs maybe with the victory here today, as I believe he was the goaltender on record after giving up the goal here earlier on in this third period. But hey, like we said, a much more complete game, a much more, like we said, I know we probably talked this word into existence, structured game, but certainly leaves a lot to be questioned about for tomorrow.
That indeed, and give a lot of credit to both of the goaltenders in net for Elite Prospects. Both Aaron Sachs and Alec Dawes had themselves a game combining to stop 26 out of 28 shots that Verbero put up. Not as many shots as last night's hectic game, but either way, both teams definitely a lot more defensively sound, and this is now Elite Prospects picking up today's game. Verbero picking up last night's game in overtime. It's split 1-1. We'll see who wins the series tomorrow morning.
We'll take a break, folks. When we come back, we'll give you the full rundown of the goal scoring, the final stats and box score, and wrap up here from Mun Ice Arena when we come back on WSBN TV. And welcome back, folks, here to Mun Ice Arena as we wrap this up, the game number 2 of the Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational, the second annual one. where Elite Prospects was able to hang on for a 5-2 win here today. Tyler Kuehl alongside Ryan Radosevich to wrap this one up here for you. Ryan, a much different game, but a couple players had big games, especially for Elite Prospects.
Yeah, that indeed one of the players that we got to talk about here that we talked to before the game. It's not Sammy Smith, it's Sam Smith. He had a big game combining for 2 goals, and he got that empty netter at the end to basically seal the deal. He played a great game. And then Jimmy Sutherland, also number 14 for Elite Prospects. He didn't get a goal in tonight's game, but he had 2 assists, and he was a play driver. He showed his speed over the blue line with confidence, had his head up most of the time, and able to find the right man at the right time to get it into the back of the net. So overall for Elite Prospects, they did a great job, and they pull this game out 5-2 and even up the series.
Let's run down the final goal tally. You mentioned Sam Smith. He scored the first goal of the game for Elite Prospects shortly after a goal from Adam Katsian, the New Albany, Ohio native. He got the scoring start at the 7:42 mark of the first period, but unfortunately after that, Verbero really never got a chance to get back into the game as Max McGuire scored his second of the weekend in the later stages of the first period before Braden Wade potted his second of the weekend as well in the latter half of period number 2. It was 3-2 for a little bit after a goal from James Liu after a nice setup by Sean Gresko, but a goal of nice slap shot from Emmett Porter, his first of the weekend, made it 4-2, and then an empty net goal from the aforementioned Sam Smith put this game away. Final shots on goal, 28-24 in favor of Verbero. The goaltender lines are as follow. Alec Dawes got the start for Elite Prospects. He stops 13 of 14. Much better performance from him. He'd probably like that for the Murfreesboro, Tennessee native. 13 of 14 for his partner, Aaron Sachs. They combined to just give up just the 2 goals here tonight for Elite Prospects. For Verbero, Mason Goodrich got the start. 12 of 14, including that dandy on the last shot that he faced before he got pulled. Zayden Alam gave up 7 of 9. The empty net goal obviously does not count against his record. But we are setting up for an exciting game, though, tomorrow, Ryan. Both teams have shown they can play both sides of hockey. They can play wide-open scoring hockey and then a little bit of defensive structure as well. Makes things a little bit more interesting for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, these teams getting acclimated to each other's lines. The play has been a lot more collective. There's not been as many turnovers as we saw in Game 1. There was a bit of a turnover bug in the first 2 periods, if you ask me, but these players are definitely getting to know each other and learn each other's game. They're getting a lot better as well. They've definitely shown that they have learned the defensive structure of each other's a lot better, and we're gearing up for what will be, well, I'll put money on this. It's going to be an interesting Game 3 tomorrow morning.
Certainly will be. We'll see who wins the quote-unquote championship of the pre-draft invitational put on here by Elite Prospects. We'll be back live, 8:45 pregame show, 9 o'clock puck drop between EP and Verbero once again. That is it here, folks, from Munn Ice Arena here on this Saturday night. Just in the nick of time for a little bit of a different hockey game that a lot of us will be paying attention to. You know, college theme and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. For our producer / cameraman / guy that's been running around for the last 3 hours, Ryan Martin. For my color commentator, Ryan Radosevich, I'm Tyler Kuehl saying so long, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.